Afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Nutrition Services Department as we review our safety project. Our agenda consists of an introduction, concerns, symptoms, and objectives, and then we'll review some data and the analysis and our recommendations. The introduction is of Nutrition Services, which is a department within the business division of Hemet Unified School District. We operate multiple federal nutrition programs, and we serve over 26,000 meals per day to students and staff. Our department is comprised of over 200 employees that are located at 27 different sites within the district. Our concerns are employee safety within nutrition services, the cost of claims, work days lost due to injury, and the multiple claims from employees working in the bakery area of our production floor. Symptoms include employees' perception in the nutrition center that claims of increase due to increase in production. The same type of injury occurring with multiple employees is noticeable by classification and our location. And there was also a meeting that occurred between Safety and Risk Management and Nutrition Services on December 11th, 2018 regarding the number of industrial claims and the similarity of claims. Our objectives today and with this project overall is to create a partnership between Nutrition Services and Safety and Risk Management to work as a team in reducing the number of injuries within Nutrition Services. We also want to develop a safety education program to train employees on equipment safety, kitchen safety, and personal safety, and that this safety training will be a required component for professional development for all employees within the Nutrition Services Department to demonstrate that there is a commitment and accountability to employee safety. Through data gathering from Safety and Risk Management, we were able to look over the past 5 years plus to see where our injuries lies and our workday lost. And so in review, there was a small reduction in number of injuries that occurred as of 2017-18 school year, including the number of workdays lost. One employee with severe injury in 2016-17 school year did result in 770 workdays lost. We also gathered information regarding number of injuries by department. For us, that means by site within Nutrition Services. So by location, the Nutrition Center had 30 injuries reported since the 2012-13 school year. And that also does include some of our substitute employees. If they would have reported an injury, they would have been recorded under Nutrition Center since they're not assigned to a specific site. The nature of our injuries from this circle graph, you can see that strain was the number one type of injury that was reported. And then the strains by type, the two most affected areas of the body was the lower back and the shoulders. We also did a safety questionnaire. The participants were Michael Byers, our maintenance manager, Joshua Dorfner, our chef manager, and Darlene Sosa, our production manager. So they were given 10 statements, and we used a Likert scale of 1 to 5. 1 equals strongly agree with the statement, and 5 to mean strongly disagree with the statement. The questions range from perception of safety within the department itself by management and the employees. Also, if we have appropriate tools and equipment available to each person. What the effect of rotating jobs has been on the strain of employees or repetitive motion, and the lack of help or what's the perception is that the increase in production has caused an increase in injuries. And then, of course, the repetitive motion. And then the lack of safety training is that another issue. So our comments from the safety questionnaire included employees need to be aware of the dangers in operating commercial equipment. They need formal training of equipment and annual refreshers. The knowledge level of safety practices, including operation of commercial equipment, is not consistent among employees. Safety equipment available is not being utilized. The equipment and facility updates are needed. Some employees report the same injury over the years. The rotation of jobs. It used to be 3 weeks, so they felt that was too short. And 6 months seems to be too long. Employees were bored staying in one area. So now the thought process is, what about if we tried every 2 months that they would rotate jobs within the kitchen? And then consult experts in the field of food manufacturing to identify best practices. And then training provided online is not specific to what we do in nutrition services. An observation of the production floor was also conducted on March 27th, and there were some safety concerns that were identified, which include stacking crates too high, employees bending over and under machines, so there was no line of sight. So if they were to, come back up, they could potentially hit their heads. And then we had an employee who was carrying 2 gallons of mustard each gallon just by grabbing the tops of the containers. We had 2 pieces of equipment too close together on the floor. An employee was cleaning a piece of equipment that was still plugged in, and then a substitute employee was wearing gym or workout pants. There was a safety training also conducted on April 12th to go towards professional development for some of our employees. It was a classroom environment. We had a PowerPoint and some hands-on exercises, and also some interaction, some group work. The participants included our nutrition services assistant 1s and 2s, our nutrition center assistants, and our cafeteria managers. The feedback from the surveys we gave after the safety training was that the employees enjoyed learning more about safety. They felt they were useful tips provided. It would be a good training for all nutrition services employees to receive. They loved the participation and interaction, and they really liked the stretching exercises presented. So our recommendations are that the safety education program developed by Safety and Risk Management, Keenan and Associates, and Nutrition Services, that will be a required component for professional development annually for employees of nutrition services. And this is due to the data which shows a lack of consistent training and knowledge of safe operation of commercial equipment. The next recommendation was that managers and supervisors monitor employee behaviors and operation of commercial kitchen equipment and develop procedures for follow-up of reported injuries to prevent injury from reoccurring. As you see from below, we have a picture of the OSHA diagram of what is the most effective way to prevent reoccurring injuries. The top one is the engineering controls. What can we change in the kitchen or the setup that would prevent that injury? We have administrative and work practice controls. And then at the bottom is personal protective equipment, which is the least effective. The other recommendation is to consult with the food manufacturer on best practices for decreasing the effects of repetition. We saw through the data that there are strains from repetitive motion in the lower back and shoulders, so that is our major focus for us. And then we do work with Cargill Kitchen Solutions, who is a manufacturer, and they would be a good manufacturer to reach out to get more information. This was provided from a quality management text regarding Cargill, and they do have some options as far as employee rotating between workstations, and this would help to improve quality issues as well as fight boredom and reduce repetitive stress injuries and promote learning. So this is one way that we can look at finding some best practices that we could adapt to our central production kitchen. So in reviewing these recommendations and hearing feedback from the Keenan representative and our Director of Safety and Risk Management, we decided that the measurement would be to look at results is positive feedback from employees on work environment through surveys, to see a decrease in number of injuries and work days lost, and a reductions of strains as the type of injury are 3 different ways we can measure if we see an improvement. Our timeline, the safety education program for nutrition services to be ready for implementation by July 12th, 2019, And this will be a partnership between Nutrition Services, Safety and Risk Management, and Canaan and Associates to develop this program. The goal is to train all Nutrition Services employees by September 30th, and then also develop a training plan for any new hires and subs that begin after September 30th. Safety and Risk Management will provide quarterly reports to Nutrition Services on industrial injuries, and then a follow-up meeting with Nutrition Services, Safety and Risk Management, and Keenan and Associates will occur in December 2019 and May of 2020 to review data. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and I hope you have a great afternoon.